Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork, Noodles for another breakdown of Kaiju number 8, episode 11. We are now one episode away from the end of the season, and there has been confirmation season 2 is in the works, so very exciting. There's rumours of a spin-off as well, which I'm just happy to have more and more content, so very happy in this sense. I hope everybody is doing well. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Big things coming your way. We've got the end of season review coming out in about a week's time, because I thought it was going to be this week, but then I realised I've still got an episode of Kaiju number 8 to do. So I'm going to wait to the end of that show. You've obviously got the big move to Japan coming our way as well. We've got the new season starting out very shortly as well. I'm also going to be bringing out some odd bits and pieces like content coming your way as well. Some bits and pieces to fill the time before we have the season rollover. We're getting there. I've paid off my first loan. I just need to get another one. We're getting there. If you do want to aid on that, we're going to get a new laptop, which should allow me to do more things and it should run smoother. Things will look nicer on it. We're also going to be able to finally take files off the computers. What happened with the old computer? Not that if anybody really cares, but the old computer, an issue because of its design, and it's a very expensive laptop, which is really irritating as well. Hinge sag. I actually can't take any files off the computer without it basically crashing. Things have stayed on there. Everything's getting a bit full now. It's about time to have a new computer. So very excited to have a new computer as it accompanies me to Japan. We go to have a new saga in my life. So let's talk about Kafka. Kafka and his fate is now all up in the air. It does feel kind of real, where you got the military arguing about what should we do. Should we kill it? Should we make it a weapon? Should we turn it into a weapon for us? Should it be a super soldier? It still does feel a little bit like that scene from Attack on Titan. Somebody gets beaten up by the other guy and to prove that they're just weak. But I don't think it's that similar, because Daddy Shinomiya, he's not a Levi. He's not in the mood. He reminds me very much of Endeavor as well from My Hero Academia. Definitely not playing around. I do love the dusk particle effect when Kafka is just sat there being able to really collect all his thoughts. It's just a really sad one because everyone feels betrayed, and initially I thought when they were silent with him and no one wants to really talk, it's like, oh, okay, too angry to really say anything, or they just want to treat him like he's betrayed them. It really is just because they can't say anything because they're on the watch. They're being looked at right now, so they want to say stuff, but they're also not allowed to say stuff. But the first person to break the formation, of course, is our boy Ichikawa. I love him. I think he is such a great character, and I'm so happy that he did say something right at the end, despite the fact he's probably going to be doing some push-ups now. Him saying something was for the sake of friendship, and I'm so happy that it triggers realization that not everybody hates him. A lot of people do realize that what he did was for their benefit and he wasn't any threat, because at no point has anyone ever said there's casualties linked to Kaiju number 8, because there isn't. But I do think this bit was the nicest plot twist for the week, where we have Mina coming out and pretty much finally saying, you know what, I've been waiting all this time for you to get to my side. Just because you're a kaiju, just because things have changed, doesn't mean that I'm not waiting. And I love this moment because she gives him the kind of the okay to have that bit of hope. Definitely this week where he's getting the crap beaten out of him, he needs something to cling to. It's just that hope that he might go back. There's the opportunity that if you play your cards right, you might go back, but doesn't quite look like it's going that way at the end of this episode. But there is one episode still to go to hopefully clear that up. The scene where we have Kafka crying actually is such a moving sequence. I love the fact that the music actually takes a step back this week. It's actually quite low key, just to support the more emotional sequences, just to have that chat between the two, because this is probably the first time they've actually had an honest chat where nobody's listening in. Mina can actually talk to Kafka for the first time. She doesn't even ask about the kaiju thing. She takes it as it is, and she does call him Kafka, I think, at the end as well. And it's not just a Kaiju number 8 kind of thing, because everyone this week's calling him Kaiju number 8, not his actual name. Now, my boy, my husbando, I love him, Hoshina, he is alive. I'm so happy that he is alive. And the salute as well. Part of me wants to believe, and I'm low-key going to take it as canon, that he is saluting our boy Hibino Kafka, because he is still part of a member of the team. Makes up on the spot that it's for his superior, which, like, okay, fine, but you know it's not. Basically wants a sparring partner, and I love the fact that he was kind of angry that he didn't take it seriously. It's like, what the hell, you're gonna fight me properly next time. Honestly, I love that, because I would like to see a proper fight between Hoshina and Kaiju number 8 and actually see those guys go like head to head. That would be so much fun. The pace this week slows right down again. It feels nice after a very fast-paced arc that we've had with the whole fight with the base and everything. I do really enjoy moments like this, because especially when you've had like all this emotion explode, it's nice to come back. Everybody's in their heads this week. We see a lot of people subtly supporting Kafka in his own little way, and I love the subtle little attempt to cheer up our boy Ichigawa by saying, oh, he's got a spare tire. It's still Kafka. Could you believe that he really is the guy that he's been looking up to? Because I feel like he was the biggest Kaiju number 8 fan, because even at the meal and everything, he was really bigging up Kaiju number 8. So who knew that you're actually secretly the old guy's biggest fan? The moment when we see Kafka's core is his heart makes kind of sense. I guess it became his heart at the end. But that's also quite sad. I'm like, did he actually technically die when he fused with the Kaiju? Or is it just that it's just become part of his heart? It's like merged with it, because I guess they're not going to cut him open just yet, even though they're probably tempted to do that once he's died and they're going to do an autopsy on him. We do get to see Shinomiya's dad this week. Apart from him looking a little bit like Endeavor from My Hero Academia, you can really see that serious relationship between the two. Like, it's very different from the relationship she has with Kafka, where she can be herself, she can smile, she can be blushy and happy and gush over it, and you can see why. Because this is the relationship she has with her dad. It's a business relationship. It's you're in an army. There's no being nice or anything. To be fair, you do kind of get a hint at why it might be the way that it is with this man, because he lost his wife. He lost a person. Maybe he was different with her. Maybe he did show his weak side to her, and a kaiju then kills her. Maybe that's why he's like the way he is. Do everything you can to wipe out the kaiju. You do get some nice bit of idea of motivation behind some of the characters this week as well, which I think is really, really nice. Trying to make friends with somebody and try and pull some strings, I think is really nice, because everybody on the team is basically trying to support him as best as they can. The moment when, as well, they are told that they're going to be separated out, going to different units and stuff, 3 of them say they don't want to do it. It's all just little bits of trying to stay together, trying to stay bonded, and not wanting to be split up, because that's your platoon, that's what you want to be fighting with. I can see why Ichigawa would want to take the leap, though, because he can probably see that he can better himself. He can probably learn a lot more, become stronger. So I can see that was his dream anyway. So I support that as well. Now, let's talk about the fight. The fight with Daddy Dearest. Brutal. It's such a brutal fight, but it's so nicely animated. The bit where he puts the gauntlets on and you see it activating with his neurolinks and stuff, amazing. I really, really like that bit because it looks so good and animated as well. And we do get a bit of information about how the weapons get their names, where they come from. This is Kaiju number 2. He tried to destroy Sapporo. Makes me wonder if they're going to low-key do an Easter egg for our friend Godzilla. Maybe he is Kaiju number 1. That would be awesome. Where is my Mothra? Where is my baby? Where is my queen? I love her. It's interesting to know that 10 up until this point that hit that scale where they're considered a numbered kaiju. But the battle itself is so insanely animated. I love it. It's fast, it's furious, it's scary because the guy wants you to put him down. You're here to die. There's nothing being spared. But it's also really sad because you can see him trying to hold back. He's holding back because he wants to prove that I am human. I don't want to attack you. If he also tries to kill the guy, and he does successfully kill Shinomi's dad, that's going to be really bad too, because they're going to be like, that's it, you're terminated, you've killed a human being, you can't do that. So it feels like all the odds are stacked against him. He can't really act or anything, and it's interesting that he gets to the point where he's almost dead, and that's when the kaiju finally takes over him. And I was waiting for this because it was weird that the others were purely kaiju in control, but why was this one obviously weaker? Initially it looked like a bug kind of thing, and it took over his body, and then it felt like maybe it was a weaker bug, but he has such a high power level. So it was interesting. There's a lot of questions still surrounding the one that actually took him on in the first place. But I do reckon that it's a bit of that Eren moment where he just loses himself completely. He's in the wall and he has no limbs or anything, and the kaiju is taken over. Interesting. It's going to make things very difficult to prove that you're human if you're about to lose control completely. And I'm really hoping that maybe Mina comes in last minute and she shouts his name and she brings him back, almost in a cyberpunk style where Lucy was the chill for David. And I'm really hoping it's that kind of situation here, because I don't want Kafka to die, but I also don't want Shinomi's dad to die, as much as I'm not keen on him. But you understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a place where he's lost somebody very dear to him, to a kaiju, and he only sees a kaiju because your heart is a kaiju core. He doesn't see the human in Kafka because he's blinded anyway. Up until this point, they've not really had any humans, I guess, in a situation where Kafka is the first human hybrid. So you can understand why he's being brutal, but it's sad because I don't want my boy wrecked. I want him to come out of this okay, being able to fight for them in a bit of a, this is our weapon, our secret weapon kind of situation. But yeah, it is an absolutely insane episode. There's a lot going on. We've only got 1 episode to go, which makes me worried that it's going to end on a kind of cliffhanger. I hope it just ends on them finally accepting him and saying, from now on, you're going to be like the army's bitch or something. I don't know. Maybe that might be the case. We're going to let you stay within that kind of core. You're going to be working on maybe the Mina unit so they can keep you under control because they're like the strongest humans. But maybe that's going to be his punishment. But obviously it's going to be a really good punishment for him because he really wants to be in that unit. But we will have to see. It's really getting good. Got one episode to go, and then it's going to be a new whole season anyway. There's not really much kaiju stuff that ever comes out, so it's really nice to have a kaiju anime regardless. Very happy that I took a chance and watched it. I fell in love with my boy Hoshina. I love him. Hopefully he does get his own little spin-off because I would watch that to hell. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're looking after yourselves. I will see you guys again soon. Bye guys.